So I was thinking this morning about how often people are told not to be afraid just in the Christmas story. You have the angels telling the shepherds not to be afraid. You have the angel Gabriel telling Mary not to be afraid. You have Joseph being told not to be afraid. Fear has a way of rearing its head and keeping us from walking out what God has planned for us. I was thinking this morning about how worship is kind of a central theme in the Christmas story as well. But if Joseph was too afraid to take Mary as his wife, he wouldn't have lived sacrificially the way that he did. If the shepherds were so afraid by the angels, they wouldn't have joined in on the search for something amazing, and they would have stopped shy of ever discovering who Jesus was. Fear has a way of keeping us from living a life that honors God. And when we live a life that honors God, it brings him glory and praise. Our life essentially becomes worship. I think that's such a powerful theme all through the Christmas story, where people lived a life that was selfless, lived a life that was generous, lived a life that was risky, lived a life that took a step in a bold way that overcame their own personal fears. And as a result, God received such praise. And I think that if we're going to join with the chorus of heaven and declaring the goodness and the amazing love of God this Christmas, I think we have to address the fact that sometimes we're afraid too. I know in my own life, there's been so many times I've stopped short of really what God has for me simply because of fear, or I stalled out way too long, delaying, rather than pursuing what God has. I think some people don't sing out in worship because they're afraid they're going to do it wrong, or they're afraid that they're not going to sing the right things, or it's going to sound bad. Or some people never are generous because they're afraid that if they give what they have, then they won't have enough for what they need. And fear plays such a key role in keeping us from doing everything that we see modeled in the Christmas story. If we're going to live a life that honors God like the people and the characters involved in the Christmas story, it's going to require us to get out of our own way, to get out of fear. I think the best remedy for me that I've discovered to overcome fear in my life is to sing anyways, to sing worship and praise to God. When I fear that I don't have enough, I'm going to sing. When I fear that what I have isn't good enough, I'm going to sing. When I'm afraid that it's not going to work and it's going to fail and nobody's going to be blessed by this or that, when I feel like my efforts are in vain and for nothing and I should just give up, that's when I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing to get rid of that fear. And so today, if you're facing some fears, maybe something challenging, maybe you want to pray, but you're afraid to pray. Maybe you want to reach out, but you're afraid to reach out. You want to grow, but you're afraid to risk or try, and you might fail. And whatever it is that fear has been speaking to you, can I encourage you today? Join with heaven and begin to sing. Sing, worship, praise our God. And when you worship, faith grows in your heart, and you can step beyond your fear and walk in faith. Hey, that's it for me today. I hope this helps you have faith today. We'll see you soon.